Hello, hi, welcome to this video. The reason why I'm shooting this video because I want to challenge myself and see for how long I can go on or keep reading. Today I have selected a very interesting PDF to read, and also it's one of the kind of challenging thing for most of the tourist, foreigner or the student who come to this place. The title of the PDF that I have selected is The Master Driver's Guide to Driving in Germany. Yeah, sounds interesting, correct? Even it's fascinating for me and interesting and curious because getting a German license is not that easy so far, what I have heard. So, without any further ado, let's continue and begin to read this PDF. As the title says, The Master Driver's Guide to Driving in Germany. Driving in Germany can be a pleasure as the roads are generally in excellent condition and the drivers are well trained and cooperative, just as long as you follow the rules. Here, you will find a complete digest of those rules as well as information on renting a car in Germany, general information on the highway network, a special section on the Autobahn, and a comprehensive collection of traffic signal and signs. However, you are reminded this is meant as a guide only, and you are responsible in law to ensure you understand and adhere to the rules of the road. So it has total 5 sections. Section 1 is renting a car and driving basics. 2 is the Autobahn. 3. The rules of the road. 4. Traffic signs and signal. 5. Driving and parking in towns. So the first section is renting a car and driving basics. Fahrvergnügen is a German word that means the pleasure of driving. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. So let's continue. And it must have been coined to describe driving in Germany. The country has an extensive, well maintained road network. Signposting is excellent, and the cars are among the best on the planet. No doubt, right? While taking the train will get you most places, sometimes a car may be your preferred or a necessary means of transport. However, you will find an overview of basic for driving and renting in Germany. In this section, there are again 5 sections: rental cars, fuel, breakdowns, maps, and roads. Rental cars. Renting a car in Germany entails about the same as it does in the UK. Most of the major car rentals agencies are represented in Germany include Avis, Hertz, Budget, Alamo, Sixt, and Eurocar. Rental cars are available at all airports and many major rail stations and other city locations. Although you will often pay more for the convenience of the latter. To rent a vehicle, you will need your driver's license and a passport or other form of photographic ID. I would recommend using a major credit card for the rental as most automatically covers your insurance deductible in the event of an accident or other mishap. However, be sure to check with your credit card company to verify that it does offer this coverage and what you must do to qualify this? Actually, this means waiving the collision damage waiver CDW option on the rental contract. Most rental cars generally come equipped with a manual transmission. The word standard really applies here. If you want or need an automatic, make sure you specify this when you book. It will probably cost extra though. If you really want luxury, you may also want to inquire about renting a high end German sports car or sedan. Most rental agencies keep ample number of this available for those tourists with the desire and corresponding budget. Most car rental agency will allow one-way rentals within Germany. Pick up the car in one city and return it at other for no extra fee. That's good, right? If you want to do this, make sure that this is the case before you rent. Most rentals also allow unlimited kilometers. Amazing. If you plan to travel outside of Germany, make sure that this is noted on the contract and have the vehicle is and oh sorry. Uh, if you plan to travel outside of Germany, make sure that this is noted on the contract and that the vehicle is properly documented for international travel, of course. Chances are most of the agency will permit travel to other Western European countries, but probably not anywhere east of the Germany, except Austria. Noted. Things to check before you leave the rental lot. Every rental vehicle should have a green insurance certificate, green card. It is important that you have this before you drive off. If you are stopped by the police, travel to a different country, or have an accident, you will need to produce this document, green card. Make sure that the vehicle has all of the required emergency equipment, warning triangle, first aid kit, spare tire, high vis vest, and jack, along with a parking disc. Also, verify what type of fuel the vehicle uses, as many German cars use diesel, which helpfully is the same word in German. Before venturing out on the road, make sure you know where all the oh, so sorry, it's buttons, knobs, and controls are even take a l- controls are and even take a little test drive around the lot to get the feel of the car. This will allow you to make any necessary discoveries or adjustment before you get out into the foreign driving environment where you will need to concentrate. The second section is fuel. Gasoline, benzene, and diesel are readily available throughout Germany. Most small towns have at least one station, and there are 24-hour stations located at intervals around the Autobahn and major highways. The major brands are Eral, BP, Elf, Esso, Fina, Total, and Shell. And the pumps in Germany work basically the same as in the UK. Most stations are now self-service. Slep, Slepst bedding, this German word. Selbst bed in Nubin or SB Tanken, like. In the UK, also unleaded fuel like Blyfry is now the norm. Autobahn filling station. There is an image over here in the PDF. Breakdowns. Germany has several of major automobile motorist clubs. The biggest is the ADAC, Allgemeiner Deutscher Automobil Club, General German Auto Club, ADAC. Also, there is the AVD, Automobile Club von Deutschland, Auto Club for Germany. So ADAC and AVD. Also, there is a third one which is ACE. All offer the usual array of motorist service. Most most interest the to the tourist is the roadside breakdown service. Straßenwacht Pan, Pannenhilfe, operated by all clubs, which offers assistance to both members and non-members. That's a good thing. Basic help from this Yellow Angels is free. Wow. But you will have to pay for the parts or towing. Ah, that's sad. To summon help, use the nearest emergency telephone located at 2 kilometers interval along the autobahn. See the emergency section of the autobahn page and 5 to 7 kilometer of intervals along federal highways. Arrow on the roadside post will direct you to the nearest one. Where emergency telephones are provided, call 0180 So how many times two it is? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So it's 0180 and seven times two from a phone booth or a mobile phone. A yellow EDAC vehicle. There is an image here in the PDF. Maps. The fourth thing. German maps are often excellent in quality. The best maps are from Hallwag, Hallwag and the EDAC Auto Club. Oh, nice. The RV Fairlag Euro City series of city and metro maps are also excellent. Each map seems to be almost the same size as the city itself. Oh, I was not knowing that. Michelin also publishes a competent collection of regional and city maps, but even the free maps available from tourist office tends to be more than adequate in scope and details. Roads with around 6 lakh 36,000 kilometer of roads, Germany has the world's second largest road system. Oh my god. Over 2 lakh 21,000 kilometer of this total being trunk roads and highways, providing the access to even the most remote corners of the country. This road carry a huge and growing volume of traffic. For example, in 1990 there were over 5 oh my god, let me get this number correct. So there were over 54 million registered vehicles, up from 36 million in 1980 and 17 million in 1970. In addition, Germany serves as the crossroads of Europe, funneling much of the continents east west and north south traffic. That's beautiful to know, right? Like increase in 1970 to all the way 1990, adding at 54 million registered vehicles. Wow. You will find that the roads in Germany are generally well engineered and maintained. Rarely you will find a pothole. That's true, I guess. And snow removal is almost instantaneous. One note about the road system: most of the roads in the former East Germany have now been rebuilt or upgraded from the previously dilapidated condition. Unfortunately, the expense of doing this has resulted in delays in maintenance and expansion of road in the West. Still, the overall quality of road system is excellent. Rural, rural road. I don't know what's happening with me. I'm having this hard time to pronounce this word. Rural road. Germany has a hierarchical road system ranging from unpaved forest path to the world renowned autobahn. Here is a brief description of the road types in Germany: forest or country lanes, Waldweg or Feldweg, paved and unpaved one lane roads. These are in generally good repair. Forest lanes are usually restricted with access controlled by a barrier. City streets, Straßen, all town and city streets are paved, sometimes with cobblestones, generally in good repair, frequently narrow with tight corners, but usually with enough room for two cars to pass. Usually named, although the signs may be hard to find at times, and with variable traffic. Community link roads. Gemein, they were Bidung, Bidungsstraße. I'm sorry for not pronouncing it correctly. Two-lane roads connecting villages and smaller towns, usually well maintained with light traffic. Country road, Kreisstraße, two-lane road connecting small and medium-sized town. This road have official numbers which start with a K or possibly with a country code, and sometimes these numbers may appear on guide signs or maps. Universally well maintained with light to moderate traffic. State road, Landstraße or Stadtstraße, very similar to county roads and usually connected larger towns. Again, these roads have official number, usually 4 digits, starting with an L or ST, but this number do not usually appear on signs. Universally well maintained with moderate to heavy traffic. Federal roads, Bundesstraße, somewhat larger and usually significantly busier than state and county roads. The routes are numbered with B numbers, example B35, and marked with 35 sign. These roads are usually two lanes, but frequently, or especially in metropolitan areas, these roads are upgraded to four or six lane expressways. Kraftfahrstraße, Schnellstraße, or so-called Autobahn similar. Autobahnnahenlich, roads marked with it's a small car sign. Federal roads connect large towns and cities and tourist areas, usually equipped with emergency phones at 5 to 10-kilometer intervals, universally well maintained with generally heavy traffic. Motorways, Autobahn. See the dedicated Autobahn page. We'll read it soon. European highways, Europastrasse. European highways are marked with the E33 sign. These aren't separate roads but rather are designated with the other highways, usually autobahns. The European highway system, with routes designated with an E, provide for continuous numbering between countries, regardless of domestic route number. For example, near Saarbrücken, the German A6 crosses into France and become France A32. However, both roads carry the E50 designation mark. It is easy for international travel to follow the route. Germany has over 80 themed highways for tourists. The most well known is Romantic Road, Romantisch Straße, a 180-mile route through small, picturesque Bavarian villages from Rusburg to the foothills of the Alps at Fusen. Fusen? Other popular routes are the Castle Road, Burgenstrasse from Heidelberg to Nuremberg, and the Fairy Tale Road, Marchenstrasse, Marchenstrasse from Frankfurt to Hanover. Guided bus tours are available along these routes, but the best way to see them is by driving yourself, no doubt. The routes are well marked and the information is available at every town along the way. If you do choose to travel one of these routes, do so outside of the prime tourist season to avoid the crowds and get the best hotel and restaurant rates. Make a note of it. Now, coming to the section 2, the Autobahn. Virtually all of the world's serious driver have heard of it, right? And longed to take their shot at conquering it. Excited. German cars are known for their precise engineering and craftsmanship. The Autobahn completes the driving equation. Wow. Some people are disappointed the first time they drive on the Autobahn. Really? They come with a vision of 20-lane superhighway where cars are barely a blur as they whiz by. In reality, the Autobahn looks like a typical motorway or dual carriageway, and despite rumors to the contrary, not everyone is hurtling along the. Oh, let me read it once again. Not everyone is hurtling along at the speed of sound. The stories of speed anarchy are only half correct, as many sections of Autobahn do in fact have speed limits. Make a note of it again. Still, the roads are superbly designed, built, and maintained, even now in the East, where the German government had to undo 40 years of communist maintenance. Oh my god, 40 years, and that to undo. Amenities are numerous, and drivers are well trained and cooperative. The autobahn from the driver's view. There is an image. In this section, we'll come to know about the history, design, traffic regulation, speed limit, traffic, construction and closures, service areas, sign and markings, electronic sign, and last but not the least, which is most important, emergencies. History. What is widely regarded as the world's first motorway was built in Berlin between 1913 and 1921. The 19-kilometer long AVUS AVUS Automobile Verkehrs- und Übungsstraße in southwestern Berlin was an experimental highway that was and occasionally still is used for racing. It featured two 8-meter lanes separated by a 9-meter wide median. Italy built a several expressway in the 1920s and Germany followed with its first auto-only roads. Opening in 1929 between Dusseldorf and Opladen and in 1932 between Cologne and Bonn. More routes were planned in the early 30s and Adolf Hitler, seeing the propaganda benefits of a highway speed road system as well as the immediate military and employment value, started a program to build two north, south, and east west links. The first of this Reich, Reich, Schau- Reich Autobahnen opened on May 19th, 1935 between Frankfurt and Darmstadt. At the end of World War II, the Autobahn network totaled 2,128 kilometers. Construction of new section finally started again in 1953 with 144 kilometers added between 1953 and 1958, bringing the total to 200 and oh sorry, let me read that value again. It's 2272 kilometers. Starting in 1959, the Federal Republic began Autobahn expansion in the earnest by embarking on a series of 4-year plans that expanded the Bundesautobahnen system to 3,076 kilometers by 1964. Major addition continued during the next two decades and the system reached 4,110 kilometers in 1970, 5,258 kilometers in 1973, and 6,207 kilometers in 1976. 7,029 kilometers in 1979 and 8,080 kilometers in 1984. Oh wow. A new series of 5-year plans with the goal of putting an autobahn entrance within 10 kilometers of any point in Germany had expanded the net to over 8,800 km by 1990. The reunification of Germany in 1990, however, put those plans on hold as the federal government focused on absorbing and upgrading the autobahns it inherited from East Germany. The incorporation of those eastern autobahns put the total autobahn network at almost 11,000 km in 1992. Addition to the unified network increased the total to 11,712 kilometers in 2001 and 12,044 kilometers in 2004. This makes the Autobahn network the world's third largest superhighway system. Sorry. This makes the Autobahn network the world's lar- third largest superhighway system after the United States and China. Wow, it's really amazing to know that. Map of current Autobahn network. There is image. So I'll read from north to south. It's Hamburg, Bremen, Hanover, Frankfurt, Nuremberg, Stuttgart, München, and from east to west, it's Berlin, Hanover, Essen, Düsseldorf, Cologne, and also Leipzig and Dresden. Map of current Autobahn network. The first Autobahns, like their Italian counterparts, featured limited access and graded separated crossings, but no medians. The first Reich, Reiche Autobahnen did have narrow medians but lacked shoulders, and the ramps and sides had cobblestone surfaces. When Germany was reunified in 1989, the autobahns of East Germany were in virtually the same condition as they were in 1945, exhibiting the aforementioned qualities as well as inadequate signing, infrequent and often non-functional emergency telephones located in the center median, and a service area consisting of a dilapi- dilapidated roadhouse next to a wayside. Newer West German Newer West German autobahns had for many years featured 3.75-meter wide lanes, shoulders, landscaped medians with crash barrier, frequent roadside emergency telephones, and ample, well adorned service area. After reunification, the German government expedited upgrading of the old East German autobahns in a series of German unity transport projects. By the middle of 2004, the program was over two-thirds completed, with about 850 km upgraded or newly built autobahn. The typical section of autobahn design. The general rule for design is to provide for unimpeded high speed traffic flow. Uni improved older segments aside. Most autobahns feature the following design elements: two, three, or occasionally four lanes per direction. Lanes on rural section Lanes on Ruler sections are generally 3.5 meters wide except the left lane of newer 3 lane segments where it's 3.5-meter wide. On urban section, all lanes are 3.5-meter wide, meters of wide width. A landscaped green median 3.5 or 4 meters wide, 3 meters in urban area, a double-sided guard rail runs down the middle. Blinders are often used on curves. Some new sections have concrete barriers instead of green medians. Emergency hard shoulders and long acceleration and deceleration lanes. Half cover leaf junction at exit and full cover leaves or directional junction at autobahn crossings. Junctions are generally well spaced, sometimes exceeding 30 km between. Inclines of 4% or less, climbing lanes are provided on most steep grades. Gently and well banked curves, freeze resistant concrete or bituminous surface, road bed and surface measuring about 68 cm 27 inches in thickness. In addition, autobahns also feature the following amenities: reflector guide post at 50-meter intervals, frequent parking areas often equipped with toilet facilities, extensive and ample service area featuring filling station, restaurants and hotels, automated traffic and weather monitoring and electronic sign providing dynamic speed limit and or advance warning of congestion, accident, construction and the fog. Emergency telephones at 2 kilometer intervals, pre-signed detour routes to facilitate emergency closures, standardized signage, wildlife protection fencing, crossover tunnels and green bridges. Maintenance is superb. Crews, crews inspect every square meter of the system periodically using the vehicle with high-tech road scanning equipment. When a fissure or other defect is found, the entire road section is replaced. Signs, barriers, and other features are also well maintained. Urban autobahns. Generally speaking, the mainline autobahn routes avoid the metropolitan cores. Instead, spur routes provide autobahn access into and within the cities. These spurs are usually built as urban autobahns. Starred Autobahn. Design feature of urban autobahns include 6 or 8 lane elevated or depressed roadways with a frequent and more closely spaced diamond interchanges. The standard rural signage standards are suspended in favor of more appropriate, closely spaced overhead signs. Mhm. These are sometimes no emergency phones or roadside reflector post. Tunnels, overpasses, and sound barriers are more frequent, and nighttime illumination is often provided. Tunnels and bridges. To maintain, to help maintain safe grades, the Autobahn system is well endowed with tunnels and bridges, so-called valley bridges, Talbrücke, and are often over 500 meters high and sometimes over 1 kilometer long. The Autobahn system now has over 65 tunnels, both through mountains as well as in urban areas. As a result of the tunnel disaster elsewhere in Europe during the past few years, extra emphasis has been placed on tunnel safety. All Autobahn tunnels have extensive safety system including 24 hours video monitoring, motorist information, radio and signs, frequent refuge rooms with emergency telephones and fire extinguisher, emergency light and exits and smoke ventilation system. Autobahn tunnel left and valley bridge on a right. There is an image. Autobahn traffic regulations. To safely facilitate heavy, high-speed traffic, special law apply when driving on the autobahn. Bicycles, moped, and pedestrian are specifically prohibited from using the autobahn, as are any other vehicles with a maximum speed rating of less than 60 km per hour or 36 miles per hour. Passing on the right is strictly prohibited. Slower vehicle must move to the right to allow faster traffic to pass, and driver should stay in the right lane except to pass. When overtaking, you must do so as quickly as possible. It's in your best interest to do so, lest you become a hood ornament on that Porsche that was just a speck in your mirror a second ago and now is close enough for you to see the look of disdain on the driver's face. You are, however, allowed to pass on the right in the heavy traffic when vehicles have started queuing, but only at slow speed. Stopping, parking, U-turns, and reversing are strictly verboten, including on hard shoulders and exit ramps. Entering and exiting is permitted only at marked junctions. Traffic entering the autobahn must give a way to traffic already on the autobahn. During traffic jams, motorists in the left lane are required to move as far to the left as possible, and those in the adjacent center or the right lane must move as far as to the right in their lane as possible, thus creating a gap between the lanes for emergency vehicles to pass through. If you have a breakdown or accident, if possible, you must move to the hard shoulder and place a warning triangle 200 meters behind the scene. If safe to do so, you must report the incident to the authorities using the nearest emergency phone. See below. It is illegally to run out of fuel on autobahn. Is illegal to run out of fuel on the autobahn? Technically, yes. Whilst there is no law specifically against this, it is illegal to stop unnecessarily on the autobahn. So this law is applied to the people who run out of fuel as such an occurrence is deemed to be preventable. There are no tolls for passenger vehicles to use the Autobahn. However, the truck over 12 ton now must pay a per kilometer fee which is collected electronically. That's smart. In addition to the official laws, most drivers follow the following customs. Motorists at the rear of a traffic jam usually switch on their hazard lights to warn approaching traffic on the slow down. Many drivers flash their high beams or switch on their left turn signal to politely or not request that you vacate the left lane to let them pass. There are conflicting opinions about whether this is legal or not and why. But there are reports that drivers have been cited for doing this. While there is no specific law regarding this, it appears that such action can be construed to violate Germany's coercion laws, so do so at your own risk. Four lane autobahn section. There is an image. Speed limit. Despite the widespread belief of complete freedom from speed limit, plenty of speed restrictions can be found on the autobahns. Many sections do indeed have permanent or dynamic speed limits ranging from 80 to 130 km per hour or 50 to 80 mile per hour, particularly those with dangerous curves in urban area near major interchanges or with usually constant heavy traffic. In construction zone, the limit may be as low as 60 km per hour or 37 mile per hour. In addition, some sections now feature nighttime and wet weather speed restrictions, and trucks are always regulated. See a table below. Still, about two-thirds of the Autobahn network has no permanent speed limit for cars and motorcycles. Although there is always an advisory limit of 130 km per hour or 81 mile per hour. If, however, you exceed the advisory limit and are involved in any accident, you could be responsible for some of the damage caused even if you are not at fault. Autobahn maximum speed limits. These are the default limits where posted signs override these limits. End of all restriction signs indicating the end of all speed limit reduction and passing restrictions. Some vehicles may be exempted from the 80 km per hour limit above. A decal resembling a speed limit sign displayed on the back of a vehicle indicates that it is an exempt from the general limit and may travel the speed indicated on the label, usually 100 km per hour. Over 3,200 km of Autobahn now feature dynamic speed limits which are adjusted to respond to traffic, weather, and road conditions. These speed limits and conditions are indicated using rather elaborated system of electronic signs. See below. Accident rates. Despite the high speed, the accident, injury, and the death rates on the autobahn are relatively low. It's safe. The autobahn carries about 1,000 third of all Germany's traffic, but injury accidents on the Autobahn account for only 6% of such accidents nationwide and less than 12% of all traffic fatalities were the result of Autobahn crashes. 2004 traffic. Because of Germany's location in Central Europe, traffic on the Autobahn is generally quite heavy. In 2004, motorists logged a staggering 218.9 billion kilometers of the Autobahn, averaging almost 50,000 vehicles per day on any given segment. As a result, traffic jam stop occur frequently on the Autobahn, especially on Fridays, Sundays, holidays, and any time after an accident or during bad weather or constructions. Regional traffic reports with a variety of names including Fair, Fairhamsmeldungen, Verkehrs, Verkehrsmeldungen or Verkehrs, Verkehrsdienst, Dienst or Ver, Verkehrsfunk and Stauschau. Stauschau. Once again, I'm so sorry for pronouncing those wrong German names. I tried my best. Are excellent and provided on most radio stations. If you are driving around the main British forces area in another Germany, in northern Germany, you can get regular traffic reports on BFBS radio. First, if you are outside BFBS coverage, then Germany is divided into several traffic reporting regions. Verkehrs- Rund, Verkehrs- und Funk by Risch signs along the road indicate the local radio stations carrying the traffic reports for the region you are in. You will need to have a working knowledge of German to understand them, though. In addition to radio traffic report, many sections of autobahns are equipped with traffic monitoring system and electronic signs to warn of downstream incidents or congestion and to reduce the speed of traffic as it approaches the jam. On section without electronic sign, the Autobahn Polizei do an excellent job of warning of unexpected jams via portable signs. Signs mounted on a police car parked along the shoulder or on a banners draped from overpasses. The traffic information is also available from several other resources, including the website of radio and TV station, auto clubs, and government agency, and increasingly through onboard telematics system. Typical weekend and holiday autobahn traffic. Oh, that's shocking. Traffic reports use one of several terms to describe varying levels of congestion. Stau usually means a colossal traffic jam where you will be probably get to know the people in the cars around you. Stockender Verkehr, indicates the only slightly more tolerable stacking or slow and go type traffic, where Dichter of Verkehr or Zahl, Zahl, Zahlfleischsender Verkehr denotes the hardly noteworthy heavy or sluggish but moving traffic. As a stopgap measure to help improve traffic flow, traffic is now being permitted to use the emergency shoulder as traffic lane during congested period along some section of autobahn. Lane control signals, signs, or other cars doing so indicate when this is permissible. Congested autobahn with shoulder open to traffic. Constructions and closures. Autobahn maintenance and improvements don't accept, escape. Autobahn maintenance and improvements don't escape the German pen, penchant for observe, obsessiveness. Let me read the sentence again. Autobahn maintenance and improvements don't escape the German penchant for obsessiveness. As a result, construction zone Baustelle are frequent and widespread. The standard protocol for large projects is contraflow system where the lanes from both directions are narrowed and crammed on to one side of autobahn so that the other side can be worked on in its entirety. Such situations are well marked with there is a sign and speed limit are usually reduced greatly in this areas. In the event that a segment of autobahn must be closed due to an accident or other emergency, pre-posted provisional detours are ready to guide traffic around the closure. As you exit, look for the U numbered like U22 detour sign on the exit ramp. This denote the detour route for that exit. Follow the same numbered route over the secondary roads and you will eventually arrive at the next downstream entrance ramp. If that entrance is also closed, just follow the next sequential detour number to reach the next entrance after that. However, there is one small gotcha: odd number continue in one direction, even numbers in the opposite direction. So if you are following an odd number route, be sure to follow the next sequential odd number. And obviously the same goes for even numbered routes. These routes also come in quite handy if your patience run out and you want to get around a stop. Autobahn construction area, note the yellow road marking this superseded all regular markings in work zone. Service area. The Autobahn has an extensive system of service area. Rasthof or Raststätte. Stätte, I'm sorry. Generally spaced between 40 and 60 kilometers apart. This usually feature a filling station, tankstelle, a restaurant or a snack bar, convenience store, telephones and restroom. Many also features hotel, showers, playground, conference room and chapels. There are over 700 services areas in operation and they are open 24 hours a day. A brochure with maps and charts showing the network of service area and the facilities available at Each can be obtained at any service area and also available on the web. In addition, BFG fuel maps are available from BFG fuel coupon offices. Autobahn service area, there is an image. Sign announcing the approach of a service area given the name of the service area, the distance to it, and one or more pictograms indicating the service available there. Fuel, restaurant, snack bar, and hotel. Service area approach sign. The white sign at the bottom indicates the distance to the next service area. Smaller parking areas, many equipped with restroom, WC, are even more abundant along the autobahn. These are marked with a sign like the one below. Approach sign for parking area with WC. Meheringer Hohe 500 meter. The past couple of decades have seen the proliferation of service facilities, mainly filling station and a fast food restaurant just off autobahn exit ramps. Especially increasing in popularity are truck stops, auto hop. These generally offer facilities comparable to the service areas but usually at considerably lower prices. Most are now marked by special sign on the autobahn like the one below. Auto Hof 35. Auto Hof announcement sign. Signs and markings. Signage of Autobahn is excellent. All direction signs of the Autobahn as well as those giving direction to the Autobahns are white on the blue. Signage before junction is standard in both form and placement. Overhead signs are being used increasingly more frequently. These signs are generally take on the forms shown in the various pictures below. Note that the route number shields are typically located at the bottom of the signs rather than at the top. Drivers should also be aware that, unlikely the UK, directions on the Autobahn as well as other roads are not given using the cardinal directions like north, south, east, west, but rather by destination cities. Therefore, you are advised to know what the major cities are along your route before you start out. The most important cities start appearing on signs hundreds of kilometers away. One other peculiarity is that when several cities are listed, the farthest city is generally listed first or on the top. In the UK, it's usually the opposite. In addition, the last place listed is usually the name of the next exit. Finally, you may come across the names that include a one or two letter abbreviation. Example S. Drager Lock or HH Zentrum. This correspond to the official license plate registration city abbreviation and indicate at an exit for a district or other destination in that city. Therefore, S. Dagerlock will be the exit for Stuttgart Degerloch, while HH Zentrums denotes Hamburg Zentrum or Hamburg city center. Advanced guide signs for Autobahn crossing, typical overhead advanced guide sign for exit sign at Autobahn crossing, overhead butterfly exit signs. Autobahns bear a 1, 2, or 3 digit number with an A prefix, example A8. However, the A is not shown on signs. The 1 and 2 digit number indicate main line routes. The 3 digit routes are spurs. The route numbers are assigned by region. Example, the area around Munich is region 9. So most autobahns in that area start with 9, and even numbered routes generally run east west, while odd number routes north south. Route numbers for spurs and connectors usually start with the parent number followed by an additional digit or two to make the digits total. Example, the A831 branches of the A8 and A241 branches of the A24. Route markers are an oblong white and blue hexagon. Here are the main sign you will encounter. Autobahn entrance. Marks entrance ramp to the autobahn and indicate the start of autobahn traffic regulation. This symbol is also used on signs giving directions to the autobahn. Initial junction approach sign placed 1000 meters before exit, 2000 meters before autobahn crossings, shows the junction number and the name. The symbol indicates the type of junction. Brensburg 1000 meter, number 19 in circle. Exit crossing. Advanced directional sign placed 500 meters before exit, 1000 meters and 500 meters before autobahn crossings. Shows a schematic of the junction and gives additional destination and route number. Route number. Junction and countdown markers. Placed 300 meters, 3 stripes, 200 meter, 2 stripes, and 100 meter, 1 stripe before the exit. Junction number appears at the 300-meter marker. Exit sign. Bessenberg, Berg, Gladbach, Franken, Forst. Located at exit point, occasionally placed in the median. When placed overhead, may be repeated several times above the exit lane. Exit sign Ausfahrt marks the exit ramp. Junction number 62 circle shown on the initial junction approach sign and on the first countdown marker. Junction are numbered sequentially. Provisional detour marks a pre-posted detour route for use in the event that the autobahn must be closed, like U22 arrow. Follow the same numbered route to return to the next autobahn entrance. Can also be used to bypass autobahn congestion. Odd numbers go in one direction, even numbers in the opposite direction. Provisional detour schematic used to direct autobahn traffic to the next sequential provisional detour route when traffic cannot return to the autobahn at the next entrance. Alternate route indicates a recommended alternate route on the autobahn system for specific vehicles or destination in order to avoid congestion. Type of vehicle or destination will be shown in conjunction with this sign. Distance sign placed after every entrance lists distance to major cities along the route. Distance to other nearby major cities accessible from an intersecting autobahn are listed at the bottom with the respective route number. Cologne 106 km, Dortmund 24 km, 44 Kassel 161 km, 1 and E37. Oh my god. End of Autobahn sign located on the exit ramps from the Autobahn and indicates the end of Autobahn traffic regulations. Also used to warn that the Autobahn ends ahead. Example of diagram signs for complex interchanges. München, Frankfurt, Stuttgart from 500 km, Düsseldorf, Dortmund, Essen 750 meter. Cool. Road surface marking on the autobahns are fairly obvious. You can see examples of several of this in the pictures below and on the other pictures of this page. Solid white line marks the left edge of the road or on the right side marks the inside of the shoulder or on the right edge of the road. Also used sometimes between traffic lanes to indicate that changing lanes is not allowed. Solid white line. Okay. Long, thin, broken white lines separate traffic lanes. Short, thick, broken white lines separate a deceleration exit lane or acceleration entrance lane from the main traffic lanes. Yellow marking used in a construction zone and supersede all regular white superseded Said all regular white markings. See the signs and signal page for complete information on German road signs and marking. Typical lane markings. Dynamic signs. Autobahn electronic sign showing 100 and kilometer per hour speed limit and construction ahead. While you will find some electronic signs that just show plain text message similar to those in use in the UK. Most of the system is usually display face smileys of official traffic sign. This allow authorities to use the standard pictogram signs to warn of downstream condition or to implement dynamic regulation. A common use is the temporary implementation or reduction of speed limits to respond to traffic, road, or weather condition. Occasionally, these speed limits are set per lane. It is important to obey the speed limits indicated by this sign, and you will find that the limits shown are generally very appropriate for the prevailing traffic or weather conditions. It should be noted that the speed limit and other regulations shown are indeed enforceable, and many areas are also equipped with photo radar that is integrated with the system and thus is aware of the current speed limit. The signs can also indicate closures using the standard international lane control symbols. Below are the example of these electronic signs: danger, congestion, road work, slippery road, watch for ice or snow, speed limit, no passing for vehicles over 3.5 ton, end of speed limit, end of no passing for vehicles over 3.5 ton, end of all restrictions, lane open, lane closed ahead, merge in the direction indicated. Lane closed, you may not drive in this lane. In addition to the symbols above, following word message are used usually in conjunction with the danger sign. Unfall, accident, nibble, fog, stau, congestion. In addition to marking lanes closed by accident or construction, lane control signals are used in some areas to close lanes to help reduce conjunction at interchanges. For instance, if there is significantly heavier traffic merging from Autobahn 1 onto Autobahn 2, the right lane on Autobahn 2 will be closed to provide an unobstructed lane for the heavier traffic to merge into. When different speed limits are shown on a single gantry, the limit shown applies to the lane under the sign in the example below. The speed limit in the left lane will be 120 km per hour and 100 km per hour in the center lane and 80 km per hour in the right lane. I have read from 1 to 18 pages so far. So let's jump to the next part.